All right, third grade. We are going to continue weaving. Now our in-person classes only got as far as setting up our loom. So they got our warp set up. They didn't get any of our weaving done on our weft. So I'm going to do a quick review here and remind you that as you go back and forth, we are working our way from the bottom to the top, and we are zigzagging back and forth. And we want to make sure that if we end with our weft yarn, which is this blue color on top, that the next time that we zigzag backwards, we want to start with it on the bottom. So I gave you your yarn on the popsicle sticks, and they are a great tool for weaving because you can just pop them right underneath. So I ended with my blue yarn over. I'm going to come back through the same piece of yarn, under, and I'm going to go over the next one, under, over the next one, under, and over and under. You do not have to keep it on the popsicle stick, but you can. And then we're going to pull it tight. Now I've ended with my blue yarn under my pink warp yarn, and I'm going to come back the other way. And we're just going to keep zigzagging back and forth as we go across. We can see my yarn is sort of slipping off. That happens. Now you do not have to do the rainbow colors. I've provided you with rainbow colors, but if you want to do different colors, you can. I have some students who choose to just do orange and yellow to do sun colors. It's up to you. All right, now our blue yarn is under our pink, so we're going to start with it over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Pull it through. We want our color sections to be pretty even, so I'm going to add a couple more rows of blue. This time I'm going under because I ended with my blue yarn over, so I went under. Remember that if you find that you are unweaving your rows, so if I come through here, and I've got this locked in, and I go back through, and I pull it, my yarn through, like if I come back through like this, and I undo 2 rows, that means that you forgot to do the opposite. So I'm coming through like this, and see how I have 2 unders in a row? Excuse me. What I'm actually doing is unweaving that last row. So I'm going to undo 2 rows. So if you find that you are unweaving your work, that's what's happening. You're forgetting to go the opposite. So I ended with my blue over. Now I'm going to go blue under. Under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. And then I ended with my under. You can see that it's a pattern. So on this side, it always ends with the yarn under, and on this side, it always ends with over. So that means I'm always starting the exact same way. On the left side here, I'm always starting with my yarn under, and on the right side, I'm always starting with my yarn over. Pull it through. Now that looks pretty even, and I've pulled it pretty tight. My stitches are pretty even. I'm going to go 1 more row across. No, actually I'm not. I'm going to cut this here. Now I want to cut a long tail, and we're going to review that square knot. Okay, so when we're doing the square knot, whatever color we put on top of our X to do our knot is the color that we're going to put on top both times. So to do the square knot is the strongest knot we can do, especially with yarn, which tends to be a little slippery. So I'm doing my X to make my knot, and the blue is on top. So I'm going to go ahead and do my knot like normal, 1 knot. Okay. Now when I go to do my second knot, I want to have that blue on top again. So I'm going to make my X and then loop that blue yarn through the hole. And I can see when I pull it tight that I get that square again. Pull it really tight and then just cut your tails off. And we will continue weaving. So I ended with it under. I'm going to go back and start with it over, and it will magically start to just change color when the blue runs. Okay, so you can see how I went under over. I'm going to pull my yarn all the way through. I like to pull it down so that it follows my rainbow, and you can see my green is changing here. So I ended with my green on top. I'm going to start with green under, over, under, over, under, over. All right, my friends, we will keep working on weaving like this week and probably next week. Maybe 2 more weeks. I'm just going to have to sort of see how long it takes. So take your time, make sure your stitches are nice and even, make sure that our chunks of color blocks are nice and even. And I really can't wait to see how these turn out and what choices you make as you weave. So I'm doing the rainbow, so I'm going purple, blue, green, and then I would do yellow, orange, red. All right, if you have any